Would you like a really simple and completely expandable sugarcane farm so you can get lots of paper, which will mean you can get lots of enchanting books eventually? I'm going to show you how to make this one. It is a complete doddle starter sugarcane farm. Don't you go anywhere. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, depending on what time you're watching this next episode from me, Avomance, in my Starter Farm tutorial series. This 8 farm series is based on the farm showcase that I did a little while ago. The link for that video is in the description below. We are doing farm number 7. I can't believe we're on 7 already. Last time we did the sweetberry farm. This time we are going for sugarcane, and this one is even more simple. Let's get on with it. So the way this farm works is pretty simple. The sugarcane is planted on dirt. Dirt is just easier to handle than sand. You don't have any accidents if the rails fall over or the water escapes. And next to the dirt behind there is a channel of water. Behind these sugar canes we have got a wall. The second dot up is a load of pistons, and on the third dot up I have placed an observer block. I've only placed one, but you could place more if you wish. Once the sugar cane goes in front of that face, that observer will trigger all those pistons. Those pistons will break the sugar cane. The sugar cane will get collected by the minecart with hopper, and it will be placed into that hopper there, and therefore into that chest, or that barrel should I say, right there. It's a pretty simple system and it will just keep on rolling. To make this farm the same way that I have, bear in mind you can make it smaller or larger if you wished. You need 1 barrel, 1 hopper, 2 powered rails, 10 normal rails, 1 minecart with hopper, 12 bits of dirt, 104 structural blocks, I'm using oak log, 23 of a different structural block, I'm using stone, 48 glass, 2 buckets of water, 1 observer, 12 pistons, 12 bits of redstone, 2 levers, 4 torches, 54 wooden slabs, oak slabs, and of course the sugarcane to seed it. You need 12. Decide where you're going to put your farm. Now you need to know how long you're going to make it. You can make it anything from about 6 blocks long all the way up to 16 blocks long, and it will work perfectly fine. In fact, you could make it even longer if you wanted, although that would take up quite a lot of space. Dig a trench 3 wide, and in the middle one put down a barrel. Now it's quite important that this is a barrel and not a chest, because you're going to be putting a solid block on top of it. Crouch click and put a hopper inside that barrel, so if you see, the tail points into the barrel and not downwards. If it's pointing downwards, you've done it wrong. Make sure it's pointing into the barrel, and then put a wooden oak log, because you've got obviously your oak from episode 1, and crouch click on top of that barrel. That barrel is still open. If it was a chest, it would not open. Put crouch click a powered rail on top of that and a lever over where the barrel goes. Don't turn the lever on just yet. I'm going to run along 10 blocks now, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, and on the 11th one I'm going to place a powered rail. So that is a 12 rail system, and then I'm going to pop an oak log on top of that and a lever on top of that there. I'm then going to put a minecart with hopper on that powered rail there, but I'm not going to turn either of these levers on because we're not quite ready. I'm then going to get some glass. This does not have to be glass, but I quite like to see the minecart with hopper running backwards and forwards, and I can also then see if it's stopped for any daft glitchy reason, and run that on both sides. It definitely doesn't have to be glass. In fact, you could put one of these as stone or wood. It really depends on your personal preference. And then on whatever side you are going to have as your front, so I'm going to have the water side as my front, I think, do a row of whatever block you want to put. I'm going to put wooden blocks all the way along, because then when I get to the end I can turn the corner and keep it consistent like that, and then place dirt over that rail all the way along. That is perfect. And then you want to expand this little system here, so bring up 1 and 2, do it at the other end as well, because you are going to use this glass as the base for a load of water. So I'm just going to bring this all the way around with the same block. Doesn't have to be wood again, this could be cobble, it could be whatever you wanted, and raise the level up so as it is equal to the level of the dirt. Get one of your 2 water buckets and come to the end of your farm, and in the trench where this glass is here next to the dirt, place right at the end 1 bucket of water. You can then come to the other end, place another bucket of water. It doesn't have to be a full water block in order to allow sugarcane to grow on this dirt. Look, I'll demonstrate. You can plant the sugarcane on any and all of these blocks here. It just doesn't matter. However, if I get rid of that water, for example, if I then try and plant the sugarcane, it won't let me. It absolutely has to have that water. But as long as the water reaches every block, you are going to be absolutely golden. And then come along the front of your farm, and you want to create a row of glass, just a single row of glass for now. If you want to put glass at the end, you can. I personally prefer to put oak logs, so I'm going to do that here also. And then across the back of this dirt over the water, you want to put another row of blocks. In this instance, I'm going to put stone. I've got a stone farm that I did in episode 5, so I've got plenty of stone in order to be able to make this farm in this way. There we go. So that water is completely now encased. I'm then going to get a load of pistons, and I'm going to put pistons facing me all the way along the back of this wall. So this is where the limitations of your resources come into play. If you can't afford that many pistons, then make your farm smaller. At this point, come to the side again and create a row of blocks all the way along. You should be level with the top of these pistons now. Do not go higher than that, because we need to put something different on. Grab yourself your observer and pick a spot somewhere in the middle. You can crouch click to push yourself backwards so you can see it. Put the observer on so its little redstone bum is facing backwards and its little redstone face is facing forwards. When it sees something going on in front of its face, it scares this poor little block, and a little redstone fart comes out of the little redstone bum, and that will activate the redstone dust that we're going to run along these blocks. That will make these blocks redstone active, and that will fire all of these pistons. I'll just demonstrate that. This is not part of the tutorial, so I am floating around. I'll stop in a moment. If I pop a block in front of that observer, it fires those pistons, and that is how that system works. Come back to terra firma. Right, get your structural block again. If you're using oak logs, that's absolutely brilliant, and run them along this side, and then decide whether or not you're going to use more observers. I personally think it's wasteful and you don't need to, but I'm going to fill this in with stone. But if you want to put more observers so as you get a slightly more sensitive system, that is entirely up to you. What we can do now is we can come down onto this glass and we can plant up our sugarcane. Put 1 sugarcane on each of these dirt blocks, and that will slowly grow. Sugarcane is not a fast grower, and once it reaches the height of that observer, you'll find that you'll start to gain and collect your sugarcane. Now bring these glass blocks up to the level of the observer, like that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to cap this system off. And to do that, we can do it in a number of ways. I would recommend that you use a slab as opposed to a full block, because that will stop the roof being spawnable. So I am just placing bottom slabs along the entirety of this. And I'm also going over the back just to cap it off. This is for neatness. It doesn't have to go over the back, but I just feel it looks better if you do. Now this is entirely non-spawnable, this back area here, so you do not need to worry about coming up and lighting it up. Come down to the bottom, and it's very good practice to light up your redstone, because redstone can cause lag, and lag is not your friend. So just get a couple of torches on the back and just pop those torches, doesn't matter where exactly, just a few of them along the back of here, and that will make sure that when that redstone flashes, it doesn't create a light update, and as a result of it not being a light update, you don't get any lag, which is brilliant. Come around the front of the system, and you'll see that that is what it is going to look like when it starts to roll. Come to the side, flick on that lever, you'll notice it runs all the way to the other side. Come to this side, flick on that lever, and that minecart will then run backwards and forwards, pretty much forever. But if it stops, you can see it and you can sort it out. And you just have to wait for the sugarcane to grow. This sugarcane will grow fairly slowly, as I say, but it doesn't need you to do anything to it. You can be doing over there, doing something else. As long as this chunk is loaded, this sugarcane will be growing. We're just going to test the yield of this farm now. All we've got is one cane that's just started to sprout there just before I started to talk, which is typical. But we're pretty much at the reset point. We've got nothing in our barrel, nothing up our sleeves. We've just got 12 bits of sugarcane in that farm. I'm going to let this run for 30 minutes and we're going to see how much sugarcane we get out in that amount of time. Let's go. And that is 30 minutes right there. So you can see we've had some trim off. Let's see what we've got inside our barrel. So we've got 19 sugarcane from 12 slots in 30 minutes. It's not madly high, but you know, that gives us something around 38 to 40 sugarcane an hour in what is a relatively small farm. And obviously if you leave this running for hours and hours and hours, or you expand it and make it bigger, or you tile it, because you could put multiple versions of it, then you could end up with a fairly reasonable amount of sugarcane in your inventory. One really simple starter farm right there that will get you plenty of sugarcane over the course of a number of hours that you can then convert to paper, which means that you can have rockets for when you eventually get elytra later on in the game, or even create enchanted books. They are going to push your game forward really, really quickly. If you have enjoyed this video, please do remember to slap that like button. It'd be great to know you're enjoying it, and I will keep on making them. And also, if you've not done it already, please do hit that subscribe button. It'd be great to see you in my sub club, and I look forward to seeing you in another video. You take it easy now. Bye.